Welcome to Walk with Him Wednesday. Hey, y'all, what's going on? I am happy and blessed and thankful to be here with everyone that is watching, whether you are in your car, whether you are on the radio, or whether you're just watching live. So we're on Facebook, we're on YouTube, we're on TikTok, and we welcome you for this segment, Walk with Him Wednesday. So I'm your host, and y'all know I'm the host every Wednesday. And I'm here to do this segment just to let you guys know that no matter where you are, what you've done in your life, what mistake you have made, God wants to use you. You are worthy, you are amazing, you are beautiful, talented, and no matter any mistake that you may have made in your life, it's okay. God wants to accept you right where you are, and the brokenness is the most beautiful thing that you can ever have in your life, because that's where the true transformation begins. If we're not broken, then we don't need fixed, right? So God wants to use you. So don't ever think, no matter what you've experienced, that you cannot come to the Father, you cannot pray, and you cannot just stop and pause and say, wait a minute, God created me. I am worthy. I am someone, and somebody loves me. The cool thing about God with prayer too, you can just go to him. He doesn't have any restrictions. There's no criteria. There's no contract that you have to sign saying, if you don't come to me this way, I'm not going to answer your prayer. God just says, come as you are. The key to that is you just don't stay as you are. All right. So I love y'all. And you know I do. And I do this segment just to remind you that somebody does love you, and it's the Father. And I sit here also for those that know me and for those that don't know me, that at one point in my life in 2008, I was in an accident. I was in a car accident. I was ejected. I was airlifted. I was in a coma. I was in a wheelchair. I was in a nursing home. I was in a pamper. Guys, I could not do anything. I was 28 years of age, and I was in a pamper, back to birth, right? I was severely abused. I lost my brother, didn't know my brother passed away, and I was told I'd never walk or talk again. And I was in the fight for my life within that season, not knowing what was going on. I mean, my head got shaved, so it was a very difficult time in my life, and I went through a lot of struggles. But God is a good God. God is a miracle working God. God is a God that restores. God is a God that answers prayers. And I'm living proof that he does. And through that became a journey of finishing my brother's dream, because he passed away in the wreck and he died with a dream. And he was a musician and he loved to sing. He had his guitar everywhere he went, and he passed away at 20. He died instantly when the car hit the guardrail, and then we both were ejected. But he passed away instantly, so he didn't suffer. But when he passed away and I became well, which was years later, I went in the studio to work on his album. And in that process, God spoke to me, and it was as loud as thunder. And God told me, I want you to become a Christian musician, and your story is living proof that I'm real and miracles still exist. And I immediately was like, nope, not me. You got the wrong one. I am not doing that. I am not a musician. No. And he said, are you walking? Are you talking? Get to work. And I says, well, I need money. God, I can't afford the studio stuff. I got to write songs. And he showed me that I had an album written already. When my brother was alive, I used to write. And I already had a whole album written, and he provided financially. And at that time, I was able to do a song with my brother. After he passed away, I found him singing this song off of his computer, and I brought that song into the studio, and it created a duo. So I have this beautiful song on my album called Come Unto Me, and my brother's in it, and we're singing together. And I do want to play some music for you guys at some point on here and share mine. But you can find me on iTunes, you can find me on Apple, you can find me on Pandora, you can find me on Spotify, Apple Music, Xbox, all the digital download platforms under Heaven's Guiding Star. And you can find me on social media too, on my channel, Fit for His Glory 20. I'd love to pray for you. I'd love to collaborate. So let's get with it. Today, it's a good one because I wasn't sure what I was going to talk about today. And hold on, y'all. Let me set my little timer because y'all know me. I say this in all my videos when I'm on there, but let me actually set it for real, because y'all know me. All right. I was thinking about last night, and I was like, you know what could I talk about today? And I was like, I'm not really sure. And my daughter, she's 11. She's like, Mom, why don't you just talk about trust? She said, why don't you talk about trust? Or she said, why don't you talk about betrayal? And I'm like, okay, you're onto something. So I prayed about it, and I decided to talk about trust. And the title of this message that we're going to talk about today, guys, it's called My Way or God's Way. And I think we struggle with that as individuals because some of us are very hard-headed, some of us are very stubborn, and some of us, when we experience something or there's a decision to be made, we don't go to God first. We go to ourselves and we convince ourselves that what we've thought of is correct. And then later on, when it backfires or it fails, then we go to God. And we're like, well, I didn't really consult you first. And God's like, I imagine him in heaven, with his arms crossed, like our parents, like, okay, now you're ready to come to me. So I want you to ask yourself, on a scale of 1 to 10, what is your number on trusting God? Are you a 10? Are you a 1? Are you a 0? Are you in the negatives? Like, where are you between 1 and 10? My counselor asked me that a while back, and that stuck with me. And I wasn't a 10. I'm still not a 10. I'm human. There are things that, I've experienced or recently, situations that I've been in, and I haven't been a 10 either. So that's why I wanted to talk about this a little bit with us, because I think this is an area that a lot of us do struggle in. How can we get to be that 10? How can we get to be as closest to that number as we possibly can? So there's a verse. It's beautiful, guys. It's Proverbs 3:5-6. And this is what it says. And I know some of you guys have heard this, and if not, it's great. So trust in the Lord with all your heart. Okay. Trust in the Lord with all. ALL. It doesn't say with a little bit, a partial, just a tiny microscopic piece. It says all. God wants it all. Trust in the Lord with all your heart and do not lean on your own understanding. Right? Acknowledge him in all your ways, and he will make your path straight. So in this verse, it's got all twice. God says, don't give me a little. I want everything. Come to me wholeheartedly. Come to me with everything. Just come to me is what he says. Even in the book of Matthew, it talks about coming to God because God's yoke is easy with that. So he says, if you give me all and you acknowledge me, and get out of your own understanding, meaning get out of your own way, because it just doesn't work when you try to take the wheel. He says, I will make your path straight. So God is telling us right now, hey, come on, surrender it all, get out of your own way, and I got you. I'm going to make it straight, right? We make our own plans, but the Lord decides where we will go, right? How many of us make our own plans? And we don't go to God until it backfires. How many of us are guilty of that? So when we truly go through something, do we stop and go to God first and then wait for the answer? Or we're like, nope, not waiting. Nope, need an answer right now. Oh, you didn't answer me? Oh, bye. I'm going to do it myself. So Proverbs 16:9 talks about in their hearts, humans plan their course, but the Lord establishes their steps. So what does that mean? It means you can make your own goals. You can set your own thing. But God ultimately will guide your path and make the final decision. There's something that I really learned the hard way a couple years ago when I was going through an experience, and it was like, I wanted this situation to work. I remember praying. I remember fasting. I remember laying on the floor, just weeping. And I just remember wanting this situation so bad. And in the end, God answered my prayer like a month later, but it wasn't what I prayed for. It wasn't my will. It actually was his will. And that was a very painful lesson to learn, that no matter what, we can pray, we can ask, we can go all day with our requests to God. But if it doesn't align with God's will, then it's not going to perpetrate. It's not going to work out for us. And God's will is looking out for us. His will is not to punish us. It's not to hurt us. His will is to protect us and to guide us and keep us in the right path. So his plan, actually, when it works out, it's even better than what yours would have, worked out for. So what does it mean to trust? All right. What it means to trust. Some of these can be challenging. Okay. Number 1, let go of control. Let it go. Right. It's like that song, Let It Go off of Disney. Let it go. Let it go. Let go of control. Stop trying to figure out every single detail on your own. Okay. Stop. Some of y'all are going to struggle on that, including myself. All right. Number 2, rely on God's wisdom. Accept that human knowledge is limited while God sees the whole picture. Okay. Except it's just limited. God sees it all. He saw yesterday, today, and the future. He sees everything, right? So what are we trying to stress it out for? And involve him daily. God wants to be involved daily in your life, not just at 7 o'clock in the morning, not just on Sunday. God doesn't want to see you one day a week. That's not right. And some of us do that. We go to church on Sunday, get our praise on, then we go out and we come back to the regular scheduled program, right? We are a one day a week worshiper. God wants to be involved at all times. So turn to prayer and quiet reflection before making big choices. So what have you got facing in your life today? Something that's going on that you need to have an answer on. How about go to God first? How about be still? How about pray about it? How about trust that God's going to answer it? And when he answers it, it's his will, and it will be the best decision and the best answer you can get. So let's look at some of these core differences, guys. The choice between my way and God's way, right? Because it's my way or God's way. Most of the time, it's our way. It's a core spiritual struggle. My way relies on human pride, right? Who's got that human pride? My way relies on a couple things. Look at this: human pride, temporary feelings, and limited sight. God's way, trust, divine wisdom, eternal love, and perfect timing. I want to go God's way because the other way sounds like a temporary fix that's going to blow up on me in the end, and it's going to leave me probably hurt, probably wounded, and some things that I didn't need to happen in my life, right? Perfect timing is God's timing, even when it feels hard to accept. All right, so let's look at some of these core differences. Source of truth. The truth. All right, two bullet points in this one. My way. It's based on what looks good right now. It's my way. Oh, okay, so I'm going to make a decision based on what looks good right now. Well, he looks good. Maybe I want to get with him. Or, ooh, this job is going to pay me more. You know what? That looks good. We're going by sight, and sight is the flesh, right? God's way, based on unchanging truth and wisdom. So we can do it our way, what looks good right now, and looks fade. You guys know that. Looks don't stay the same forever. God, forever, he stays the same, and he bases it on the truth, guys, and wisdom. All right, focus of control. We talked about control earlier. 2 bullets in this one. My way in control. You try to steer every part of your life. Okay, I'm not talking to nobody in this room, right? Nope. I do have a special guest in here, but we're not talking to anyone in here. It's not us. There's no way we try to steal every part of our life, all right? God's way. You give up control and let God guide your steps. That's Proverbs 16:9. End result, my way often leads to stress, confusion, and regret. Okay, God's way leads to inner peace and spiritual strength. Pride, wanting to be your own boss. All right, impatience, wanting good things now instead of waiting. All right, who is this Amazon? Addictions. Now I would say addictions, but we're spoiled, right? We want to watch a movie, we hit play, it's an instant stream. We want a package in the mail, we Amazon is the next day. We don't want to wait weeks and weeks for the Walmart deliveries when they come in. We want stuff now. So we are impatient. We are human. We are impatient. All right. Fear. Doubting that God has your best interests at heart. I know we talked about this last week, about lies. We talked about lies last week and how the enemy can get in your mind and how he can lie to you, right? So there might be in our thoughts where we're just not trusting God. We've got fear and we're doubting God. So we're going to end on 3 verses, and these are encouraging verses for you guys when it comes to my way or God's way. Psalms 37:5. Commit your way to the Lord. Trust in him and he will act. If you commit your way, you trust, he's going to take care of it. This is what Psalm says. I didn't say it. This is God saying, hey, I got you. Isaiah 26:4. Trust in the Lord forever, for the Lord is an everlasting rock. It doesn't say a rock temporarily. It doesn't say a next day delivery rock. It says everlasting. Psalms 18:2. The Lord is my rock, my fortress, and my deliverer. So, guys, my way or God's way, I really want you guys to think about on a scale of 1 to 10, how much do you truly trust God in your circumstances, in your life, within your relationships, your finances, your parenting, your walk with Him, wherever you may be, that whatever number you are, we can get as close as we can to the 10, but God wants us to have a relationship with Him. That's where we have to start. So if you're a 0, start right there. Just start that relationship with God today. I love y'all. I will see y'all next week for Walk with Him Wednesday. Take